welcome to my channel. My name is Raeann, but you can call me Ray. Today's video is going to be a 3 looks with 1 palette, which is this palette right here. So this is the Divinity palette from which they were Strobe Cosmetics, but now they're Shroud Cosmetics. So the Divinity palette from Shroud Cosmetics, words, okay. We're gonna just sit around and play with this palette. I'm gonna do 3 different looks. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. If you haven't seen it already, this palette actually did come out quite some time ago, over almost 2 years ago, something like that. I honestly don't remember. I think it was like sometime in 2018. So yes, if you'd like to see this look and the other 2 looks, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so this is the first look. Very like sunsetty kind of. I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to look like this. Don't ask me why, but like after I looked at it, I was like, wow, I went like full sunset. How was I completely unaware of that? No idea. I just knew that I wanted to use the purple shimmer and then also the orange matte color, and I just kind of went with this. It was gonna start out a little bit different, and I did try this look a couple different times, but this is where I landed and I actually really like this. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first shade we're gonna go into is this really pretty purple shimmer right here. I'm actually gonna take this first. I'll go ahead and put down some glitter primer, and then I'll put that shade over that, and then from there I'm going to blend it out with the other 2 shades that I use. Like I said, I tried variations of this look, and originally it was going to be something a little bit different, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but especially with a look like this, I feel like it's a little bit easier, at least for me, to start with the shimmer and then blend everything out. So just take a little bit of glitter primer, pat that down, and then I'll go ahead and apply the purple shade with my finger until I can't, basically. Then I'll take a brush and kind of refine everything. After that, I'm gonna blend everything out, and then we'll go in with the other shades. I thought it would just be kind of easier since I already know for sure what I'm gonna do to tell you guys, and then that way when I'm actually doing the steps, you kind of understand it a little more and you already know what's happening. Look at how beautiful that color is, by the way. Okay, so from here we're gonna go into the orange shade, so Aphrodite. Okay, so from here we're gonna go into this shade right here. And then this shade will be on the very outer corner. Go into the orange shade and the yellow shade for under the eye. Let's see. And then go with the yellow shade. Really kind of diffuse everything and make this a little blown out. And our inner corner highlight will definitely be this shade right here. I was kind of wanting to do like a lighter, like a lilac or some sort of shade, like a lighter purple in the inner corner, but I like to keep everything when I do the 3 looks 1 palette, try to keep everything in the palette. I guess I don't necessarily need to do that, but let me know what you guys think, because yeah, I definitely feel like I would have liked a lighter purple in here versus just the like standard shimmery inner corner highlight. But I mean, it definitely still looks really pretty, but for this look specifically, I would have really loved one of those. Like something from the Menagerie palette would have been really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of just finish up the rest of the look and then I will come back to show you guys. Alright, so this is the finished look. Alright, so this look is very, I'm gonna call it vampire walking off into the sunset, or maybe possibly flying, who knows. The eyes were very bright and kind of a more sunset eye, and then I decided to go with this lip, and yeah, I am just, ooh, in my skin, I'm literally like glowing pale. It also might have something to do with the light, so I probably should fix that. Yeah, this is the look. I probably should have gone with a different lip color. I actually did originally, and then I kind of wanted to go darker because I did a more like berry red tone lip before this, and I was like, I just felt like there wasn't enough like contrast with everything, so I decided to go with a darker lip. And yeah, if I were to take this off right now, it literally would look like I ate a popsicle. So like a lot of staining. This is the finished look. Let's go ahead and get into look number 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the second look. So we're gonna start out with this shade here, and this will take a little bit of building up, that way, because I'm doing kind of like a faux cut crease. Story of my life, I do that all the time. But we're gonna want to build this shade up a decent amount, and then I'll show you what else I do. The brush I wanted definitely rolled on the floor and I forgot about it. We're gonna dip into this shade. So I'm gonna bring this up a little bit more and then really pack on the color to make it really like, to make the shade deeper, and then from there I'm gonna blend it out with a couple different colors. I did originally start doing something else when I started this look, so I'll explain exactly what I changed. So originally when I started this look, I was actually going to do, let's see, so I was gonna blend it out with this shade here, or possibly this shade, and then well, okay, it was gonna be this shade, and then I decided that I was gonna blend it out with this shade, which I had already started to do, and I knew I wanted this shade to be my inner corner. When I did that, I realized that I just didn't like the way that this looked in the inner corner, and I felt like I needed more to build up the look and add more dimension to it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take Aphrodite, and that's gonna blend out the shade that we have now. After we do that with this shade, we're gonna go into this shade here, and that will blend everything all out together, and it gives you a good dimension, where originally I started with this shade, blended out with this shade, and it just wasn't enough. I felt like it was just lacking something. And of course that's totally just like a personal preference, so if you did want to do just those two shades, Freya and Ocean, then you... Ocean? Did I say that right? Who knows? I mean, yeah, you can do it any way that you wanted to, but when I started doing it the original way I'd planned, it just didn't have enough dimension, so I'm gonna go in with a brush, but I don't know what one. Hold on. And this I might actually end up looking a little bit different than the other because I wasn't originally planning to do it this way on this eye, so we will see. I do need to try and mimic the other eye still, even though I have a better gist of what I'm doing now, but I still need to make it close to the other eye. I have a bad habit of using a brush and then using a different color with it, so that when I go back to use the other brush, I can't use it unless I were to clean it off, and I usually clean my brushes off with a makeup remover of some sort and like a micellar water and like a washcloth or something, just because, I don't know, I just always did it that way. But when you do that, the brush is wet, so you can't really use it again unless you dry it off the brush, and we all know I'm not patient. So from here we're going to go into that yellow shade that I was talking about. This shade right here. We're really just using that shade to kind of blend everything out. It's funny because now that I think about it, I basically used these shades in the first look. But I feel like it looks totally different. Like this look looks totally different than the other look that I just did. It's so interesting how like the same colors are so capable of all of these different styles and looks and everything. Because I'm basically, if I'm remembering correctly, basically using the same color. I mean, obviously I'm using the same palette, but you know. So from here, I'm just going to take a glitter primer on the back of my hand and then kind of do a faux cut crease. So what I do is I just take a little bit of the NYX glitter primer and then I put it on the back of my hand and find a flat like concealer brush. And then I pick up the primer and then put it down where I would normally cut out my crease. And from there, we're going to go into this shade. Doing this where we normally would cut a crease. Usually when I do this, I actually do it a little bit lower than where I would typically cut my crease out. One of the brushes that I previously used with that first shade. That way we can kind of help blend everything in. I do think I want the shimmer to go a little bit further up than where I have it. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit more and just blend that on the outer part with my eye. So from here, basically everything is pretty simple. I'm gonna go back into, so the yellow, orange, and then more brown shade. I guess it's like a brownie slash reddish color. Great explanation, Raeann. I'm gonna go back into all three of those shades for under my eye. So I'm gonna start, I actually started with the yellow shade, so I'll take this and then bring the orange shade a little bit closer to my lash line, and then we'll use this on the outer part closer to the lash line. And of course I'll show you guys, but sometimes when it comes to shades that we've already used, I find that it's a little bit easier just to be like, okay, we're gonna go back into these shades and this is what we're gonna do, because this part doesn't usually take too long. Definitely want a colorful liner for the waterline, but I'm not sure what I want to do yet. Maybe purple. So from there, so we did the yellow shade, now we have to do the more orangey shade. And we'll go into the darker shade. And then our inner corner is this super, super pretty purple shade. So this shade right here. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of fix this eye just a little bit, basically just blending everything out a little bit better, building up some of the color that maybe I think needs a little more extra love, and then I will put on the rest of my makeup. I might be doing a cat eye today. It's been a while, so maybe that's not the best idea, but I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and I will show you guys once everything is done. Okay, so I know I'm a little orangey right now, but honestly, I love orange and yellows like so much. Yeah, I don't know, I'm actually pleasantly like surprised and like happy. Okay, maybe not like surprised, but like happy with this look. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's different than what I've been doing recently, and I don't know, I'm just super excited. I had like two different ways I was gonna go with this look, and I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. And of course, I'm literally just living for these like yellow and orangey tones right now. Like, love. Absolutely love. Also, this shade that's on my lips is a e.l.f. color. It's with the Nabella collab that they did a while back ago, probably sometime last year. I don't even remember if it was like summer or when it was exactly, maybe fall. I honestly don't remember. I really like this lip as well with the whole look. I was gonna go with something darker like I did in the first look, but I didn't. I don't know, when I'm doing 3 looks with one palette, I always try to do different things with the lips too, and a lot of times I don't end up doing that and I do like a glossy lip, and then it kind of, I don't know, I just think it's nice to have also a different option for your lips as well. That way it kind of really separates all of the looks. So go ahead and get into the third and final look. Let's go ahead and start this look off with this shade right here. So from there, we're going to go into this shade here. We're just using this to blend out the first shade. So this is totally off topic, but I saw a post the other day, probably yesterday, I honestly don't remember when it was, but it said like, what's the first thing? It had like, it was like a poll of a bunch of different things, and it's like, what are the first things you're going to do once like quarantine is over? And it was like, are you gonna do your nails, get your nails done, or your eyebrows? And definitely my nails. So I bought a kit where I could try to do my own dip nails, which I've never done before, but I bought a kit where you can do your own dip nails at home, and I also bought a drill and a couple different dip powders, and I'm gonna try to do my nails at home, but I haven't gotten the kit yet, and I was really hoping that I would get it before my nails started to literally fall apart, and now my nails are literally like falling apart. They're breaking. It's probably been, oh geez, like almost 4 weeks I think since I got my last fill, because that was literally got my nails done like right before all of this started happening, right before all of the shelter in place orders were effective. I got my nails done like right before that, like probably sometime the week before, maybe even more than that. I honestly don't remember. Time literally has escaped me. Like, I don't know. I can't even tell you what day it is. I think it's Thursday. So from here we're gonna go into this yellow shade. Here I'm actually gonna go ahead and cut my crease out. Because I'm going in with like a lighter shade, I just kind of prefer to do that, like do a full like cut crease with concealer, just because I feel like it's just a little bit easier when you're working with a lighter shade, especially like this shimmer shade here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and then I will show you guys the rest of it. So I am a hot damn mess. I cut out my crease, and I also started or completely filled it in. I guess that would be the best way to describe that. So I already placed the eyeshadow on top because I wasn't thinking, and I was just like, yes, this is perfect. Like, okay, I did the concealer part pretty damn good, and that doesn't happen very often. So like I did that and I was like, yes, and I just kept going. And then I realized I was supposed to be filming that. So the shade that we're going to go into is this shade right here. And since I already did that, let's see, yeah, everything looks pretty good. Let me actually go back in and kind of refine things a little bit. So I cut out my crease, and then I just covered the concealer with this shade here, which is pretty close to a concealer shade for me anyways, but at least this has like a pretty shimmer to it. And I didn't want to go, there's only 2 shimmers in this palette. Okay, this look was going to look a little bit different. I was actually going to do the yellow here instead of using it in the look, but I tried this look about a good 5 times. I almost gave up. I was almost gonna be like, we're gonna do 2 looks with this palette. That's it. I can't do this. Like, it's just one of those days where I tried and I tried and I tried and it wasn't working out. Like, it wasn't turning out the way that I wanted it to. And what I realized was with especially these 2 mattes, for some reason they were coming out pretty patchy on my eye. And what I decided to do was I used a different eye primer. So I used the NYX one and then I set it. And then I used the shadows and they performed like way different. Because I don't remember having issues with them before. So I was kind of like, wait, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? So like I said, I tried to do this look like almost 5 times. And it kind of changed throughout the process, and I was doing like different variations, but I wanted to use the same colors because I want to make them a little bit different from the other looks, and I'm on a tangent. Let's go ahead and finish off this look. So I just want to take the brush that I used this gray blue shade with, so this one here, and I'm just gonna try my best to kind of blend this shade into the shimmer shade. Since I don't have another shimmer for it to blend into, I probably could have taken a little bit of the purple, but I decided not to do that. So I really like this color scheme together. I like how grungy it looks. So I think that I added a little bit too much of that shade, so I'm just gonna take my brush that I used the shimmer shade on and just lightly tap it over there. And the shimmers are really good to blend out the matte shades. There we go. So I think that looks pretty good. And then for under the eye, we're basically gonna go into the colors that we've already used. So I'm gonna start with the yellow shade. So we'll start with this shade here. Then I'll take a little bit of this shade, and then the outer portion of the eye will be the darker shade. Alright, so we'll go into that green shade. So we're bringing this shade closer to the lash line, but bringing it almost all the way to the inner corner, just not all the way, so stopping it right about here. Okay. And then we'll go in with that darker shade, and that'll be focused right here. And then for the inner corner, I was debating doing the orange shade Aphrodite, but sometimes, for some reason for me, especially right now because I feel like I've been kind of fighting with allergies, when a matte shade is near my inner corner, you can tell like it kind of starts to dissipate a little bit because my eyes are really watery, or they can be. So I wasn't sure how my eyes were gonna hang today, so I decided to do a shimmer because I feel like the shimmers are just a little bit easier to work with sometimes in the inner corner, especially if you have like more watery eyes. So I actually took a shade from the Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green palette because I had it on my desk still from the other day, and I'm gonna take this more golden shade, and that'll just get popped right in the inner corner. Usually I like using all of the shades in the palette. Like, I don't usually tend to like to reach for other palettes when I'm doing a 3 looks 1 palette, but I felt like since it's just the inner corner that I was okay with it, and I really wanted a more golden green shade, which there isn't in this palette. Plus I was kind of feeling like the orange was just going to be a little too dark in the inner corner, at least for this look. So I am going to finish up the rest of my makeup. I'm trying to decide if I want to do liquid liner or not. I finally got a new one. I'm trying out, it's a Milani one of some sort. It's some sort of matte one. I forget what it's called. It's like 17 hour something something something. I just got that the other day, and I'm still kind of like feeling it out a little bit. I actually used it in the second look that I did in this video, so I'm not super comfortable with the liner, and I'm just so afraid of ruining this because I can go a little heavy-handed with the eyeliner sometimes, and I don't really want to do that today because I'm so afraid I'm gonna mess it up. So we'll see what I do with the rest of this look, but I'm gonna finish everything up and then I'll show you guys, and we might talk about the palette a little bit. But this palette is definitely, this isn't going to be a review or anything, just because just kind of revisiting some of my older palettes, especially the ones that I haven't really used as much as I'd like to. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and I will be right back. So this is the finished look. Looking back at all of these looks, I actually feel like this one might be my favorite. It was the second one, and then since I did this one, I was like, I actually really like this one. I love greens and yellows together though, like I absolutely love them. So I'm a little biased because I love them together. I don't know, I just love that combination. So yeah, I'm so excited that I actually got this to work because like I said, I tried to do this like 5 times and yeah, it's just one of those days, I don't know, I just was like, how do I make this happen? Why is it not happening? I guess that's something that I could know. I was having an issue with the darker matte, so that green and then the like grayish blue one. I was having issues with those two, so these two shades here I was having an issue with blending out and then blending them together. So once I set my primer, it was perfect. So I don't know what it was about these two shades versus the other shades in the palette, but for some reason when I was trying to use these two primarily, it was just really hard to build it up, to blend it out. I just was not having a good time with them whatsoever. I of course have used this palette before, but I haven't used it nearly as much as I wanted to, or that I would like to, I guess, because, you know, I do a lot of eyeshadow reviews and it just got a little lost, which some of them do sometimes. But, you know, overall I really like the quality of this palette. It's not, I'm not going to go into like in depth really because this isn't a new palette, so I'm sure if you guys were interested in this video, you've probably already watched videos or already even own it at this point. Using this definitely encourages me to buy more of Shroud's products because they are now Shroud Cosmetics and not Strobe Cosmetics. So that's one thing on here. They were Strobe, but now they're Shroud. So I really do want to order more of their palettes. I totally missed out on the sale that they had recently. I should have done it then. But regardless, I probably will be buying at least the Creepy Cute palette because pastels. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought this would be kind of fun. I want to go through my collection and do more 3 looks with more palettes just because this is a good time to work with palettes that I haven't really used as much of and that I'd like to use more because 1, there aren't a lot of products coming out right now, totally understandable, and 2, I personally don't want to buy a lot of stuff right now either. So of course, like, paying attention to what's coming out, but there really isn't much coming out anyways, so this does give me a good opportunity to go through all of my other palettes, which I have a lot of, and just kind of play with those more, especially the ones that I haven't really given enough attention to. So that itself is really exciting to me, and if you guys have any suggestions of palettes you'd like to see, just let me know. Of course, I can only do it if I have it, but there's a good chance I might have the palette that you'd like to see, so just let me know what palette you'd like to see. I probably will do something on my Instagram too. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.